searching right through explicit analysis.
The best way to security is involvement of citizens in the security process.
Our graduates are not qualified to be employed. Who is graduating there is the government. Right from 1960, Nigeria has a serious problem. Leaders' problem. Nobody loves this country.
Mind-boggling issues bothering Nigeria and beyond.
Number one, I want to say is that governance, we should cut the expenses of governance. You cannot give reorientation to anybody that is hungry. So what do? A leader is somebody that has passion for who is leading. Nigerian leaders does not have passion for that. They only have passion for themselves and unborn generation.
69.1% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. What do you do with that statistic?
But if you cannot provide for the many, you cannot protect the few. You wipe out corruption. If we don't do that, I have been saying it, forget it. We can't go anywhere.
Brugami, only for Nigerians. Brugami, setting the pace, keeping the pace, making the system work with apt, potent, and daredevil team of producers and presenters. This is Brugami.
Well, as Brugami, we take a short break. When we come back, the discussion still continues, and we're talking about how the effect of inflammatory statement, especially to the build-up of the 2015 general election. Now, we'll be trying the lines open. It has been open, and it will still remain open, as we're still expecting our guest in-house in person of Dr. Ibrahim. He's a public affairs analyst. Don't forget that when we come back again, we implore you to restrict your call to 2 or less than 2 minutes so others could also participate. Let's take this break. When we come back, it's Brugami all the way.
Constructive, appealing, engaging, people, issues, and dimension on Brugami. The converging point for Nigerians at breakfast on the Brugami table. Join the wagon and be more.
Vision 92.1.
Brugami.
Where will you identify between right and wrong? Where do the public see the public trust holders? Only on Brugami. 8 to 9 a.m. every weekday on Vision FM 92.1 Abuja. Brugami, searching right through explicit analysis.
The best way to security is involvement of citizens in the security process.
Our graduates are not qualified to be employed. Who is graduating there is the government. Right from 1960, Nigeria has a serious problem. Leaders' problem. Nobody loves this country.
Mind-boggling issues bothering Nigeria and beyond.
Number one, I want to say is that governance, we should cut the expenses of governance. You cannot give reorientation to anybody that is hungry. So what do? A leader is somebody that has passion for who is leading. Nigerian leaders does not have passion for that. They only have passion for themselves and unborn generation.
69.1% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. What do you do with that statistic?
But if you cannot provide for the many, you cannot protect the few. You wipe out corruption. If we don't do that, I have been saying it, forget it. We can't go anywhere.
Brugami, only for Nigerians. Brugami, setting the pace, keeping the pace, making the system work with apt, potent, and daredevil team of producers and presenters. This is Brugami.
Welcome back from that very short break, and we continue on Brugami this morning, and it's worthy to know that our guest in person of Dr. Ibrahim, a public affairs analyst, is in-house. He is a National Organizing Secretary, Africa Democratic Congress. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
And welcome. I know it's because of unavoidable circumstances. That is why you're meeting up with us this point.
Yes.
All right, sir. We have been discussing on how can inflammatory statement by aspirants be effectively checked in the build-up to the next year's general election. And of course, we've been having callers on board. Now, sir, what is the implication? What is the implication of insightful statement by politicians, especially at this period in time?
Good morning, listeners out there. Certainly, the implications are many when we look at it from the point of view of the situation in our country today, where the problem of insecurity has bedeviled the nation for about 3 years now. Nobody seems to really understand what is happening. And the fact that we have had violence in the past that are related to elections, like the aftermath of the 2011 general elections. It is worrying and strongly disheartening that we have not learned anything from what has happened. I know that there were committees of investigation set up and have come up with, then they came up with recommendations as to what should be done in order to avoid another occurrence of the kind of violence we witnessed after the 2011 general elections. But certainly it seems as if we have not learned anything from that. It seems as if as a people and our politicians as leaders are working towards a very chaotic and disturbing aftermath of elections in the future. This is most disturbing for this country.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, having given that background, Nigerians will want to know how these could be checked. Of course, it's an ugly setting, but what should be put in place to have these put in check, especially now, sir?
Yes, a lot of work has been done. The initial steps started from around 2005 and 2006, prior to the 2007 general elections. I remember very well that a code of conduct for political parties in Nigeria was worked on in conjunction with the American non-governmental organization, the IRI. We took cue mainly from the Ghanaian experience, how they were able to come up with very strong political parties that were truly issue-based, and politics certainly matured within a very short period of time. And at that time, all the registered political parties in Nigeria appended to the Code of Conduct, which led to the formation of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, which is operational now. The idea is to make people understand the best way to undergo politicking, from the formation of political parties to elections campaigns, and even monitoring those that are elected to make sure that they follow the manifestos of their respective parties in the implementation of their government's policies. So a lot has been done, and part of it has been incorporated into the Electoral Act as well. The framework to prevent all of that is in place. The enabling law to punish those who engage themselves in that is in place. But one will ask the question, why is it persistent? One, if you will allow me to answer the question, certainly it has a lot to do with our society. There is a lot of distrust between different sections of this country today. We used to be more or less like one people in the past. Until recently, Nigerians tend to look at the things that divide us more than they look at the things that unite us. And as a country, truly, our future lies in our diversity. We keep on saying that there are very few countries like Nigeria where we have this much diversity, that God has put us together. So if we continue to look at the differences among us, and the differences bring about areas in which we will attack each other, then there is that problem. For those of us who have time to look at social media, and you see the kind of comments and hate speeches and language that is coming from ordinary Nigerians, you get scared. Some of it has a lot to do with maybe sectionalism. A lot of it has to do with religion and what have you. Now, this is the people. But I'm not giving any excuse as to the fact that because the people have missed it on this point, then the politicians should act in the same way and manner. The politicians should know more. But why are we having what we're having? Truly, I think it has a lot to do with the nature of politics in Nigeria. A lot of people who have something to offer in the political affairs of this country are still generally scared of coming to partake in politicking, because we still live with this notion that politics is a dirty game and what have you. So long as we don't have professionals and people who have wonderful track records, either in the public or private sector, coming into politics, then you continue having these charlatans there, these miscreants there, who portray themselves as leaders and continue to preach this hate among our people and make inciting statements that are capable of derailing our political experience and putting the country in grave danger.
All right, sir, if I heard you well, you did say that there are existing code of conduct for political parties and even political aspirants. Now, in the advent of this, it's obvious that this has not been, a lot of politicians have been defaulting in this respect. A situation where an aspirant defaults, does INEC have the power to punish such aspirants?
Yes, punishments have been stipulated, but maybe the punishments are not as severe as they should be, considering the situation we are in now. Maybe if people are banned from politics completely for making inciting statements that are proven in a court of law, maybe we will have some kind of deterrent in that respect. But truly, a lot of the people making those statements are people that you can even consider some of the untouchables in our society. It's unfortunate too that the Nigerian legal system is not strong enough to really have a blind eye and implement some of these laws irrespective of who is concerned. A lot of the people that come out have some kind of, not even necessarily that the legal system is allowing them, but some of them are occupying positions that confer immunity on them. So they say what they want to say, knowing fully well that nobody can touch them. And it's unfortunate that we're having that kind of lack of maturity in our political experience as of today.
Right, sir. Now there is a strong clarion call on political parties and aspirants to, rather than use inflammatory statement, engage in useful base campaign ahead of the 2015 election. What is your take with respect to that, sir?
Yeah, it still takes me back to what I have said earlier. So long as those good Nigerians, those tested Nigerians, those trusted Nigerians, those Nigerians who have a wide range of experience will continue to remain aloof and agoof, not minding what is happening in the political sphere, we will continue to have these kind of problems for a very long time. My call is simple. I want the good people of this country to understand that one of the ways, that the only way you can go into a position of governance is through politics. And politics entails you participating in the political exercise, as in being a member of a political party, standing elections there. So long as we continue to think that politics is a dirty game and we sit out there and think that you're too clean to go in there, then we'll continue to have the problems we're having. If we have people who have something to offer, they will talk to the people on the basis of what they think they can do and what they are capable of doing. Not necessarily bringing everything to the level of incitement and what have you. I think it has a lot to do with the emptiness that we have in the political system today, in terms of the richness of the manifestos of the political party and in the richness of the experience of those who are contesting elections today in Nigeria.
All right, so can you break this word for us, please? When we say that comments like this could overheat the polity, what do we mean, sir?
Okay, so we're admitting that the polity is already heated. We are admitting that there are already problems on ground. We are admitting that we don't want the experience of 2011 to repeat itself. We are also admitting that if things like this continue, things can go out of hand. No one wants violence. Nigeria is too big and too sophisticated for that kind of violence to be the order of our political system. So it is important that the polity is not overheated. It is important that we don't continue to pitch our people against themselves in such a way that a very little thing will now become the last straw that will break the camel's back. And we will find ourselves in a situation that is most regrettable of violence and killings and destructions as we have seen in the past.
Right, very true. And there is also a statement that says that when there is rancor in internal party, it transcends to the general one. Now, ahead of the next year's election, many people have expressed concern over lack of internal party democracy. What is your take with this, sir?
Yes, attempts have been made right through the 2003 to the 2007, as well as the 2011 general elections by INEC to ensure that parties practice internal democracy as it should be. There are also efforts by our donor agencies, particularly the United Nations Development Program, the UNDP, in terms of capacity building for political party officers to understand the need for internal democracy within the parties, particularly when it comes to the issue of primaries and when they're producing candidates for elections, as the case may be. Now, we can certainly say that we have seen gradual improvement. Now, for any primaries, for any primaries to be accepted by INEC officers have to be present on ground to monitor the primaries. Initially in this country, people are made candidates without going through primaries. Now, that is something that will likely not happen in the present system we're running towards the 2015 general elections. So the regulatory framework is there, and then the monitoring and enforcement by INEC is also in place, and then the parties are complying more than ever before. So it is hopeful that maybe with the internalization of democratic values in our party system, maybe gradually we'll get it to a situation where only credible and well-meaning candidates emerge at the end of the day.
All right, if you're just joining us, it's Brugami this morning, and we have been having an insightful deliberation with Dr. Mani Ibrahim. He is a public affairs analyst and also National Organizing Secretary, Africa's Democratic Congress. At this point in time, we want to pave way for calls, but do remember that our guest did show up because of unavoidable circumstances quite late. But at this point in time, let's start picking your calls, and we'll also allow you time to react to those calls at the end of the show. Hello. Hello, good morning. Your name, please, and where you're calling us from. Sorry? Okay, I am sorry. You want to call us back again, please? We have distortion with that line. Join us if you are just getting on board now via the line 07098-212-746 or 080-2514-0627. You can also send us a message via our short code 33538. Hello. Good morning. Your name, please, and where you calling us from. I am sorry. We're having a little problem with clarity there. Call us back if you can, please. It's Brugami this morning, and while we wait for lines to be put in place, okay, the lines are back once more again. Please bear with us. Hello. Okay. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you calling us from, please. Okay, go ahead, please. We still want to apologize for having that poor clarity coming on board there. Well, you want to concentrate on this number rather than the first one, 08025140627. You can also talk with us via a short code. If the lines ain't getting through, you can communicate with us through text message using a short code 33538. That will be more convenient than the breaking we're having right now on board. Call us is Brugami, and we're talking about how inflammatory statement could overheat the polity. And of course, our guest in-house, Dr. Mani Ibrahim, a public affairs analyst and also the National Organizing Secretary, Africa Democratic Congress, ADC, is with us in-house and have done justice to this background. We'll still get back to him. Hello. Okay, having problems with that? Well, you want to call 08025140627. That line, it's more viable this morning. All right, let's go quickly to our message box where we will be taking comments from you. Of course, we have a whole lot of comments on board this morning. Let's see what we have here this morning, okay? This one, it's not very clear. Let us see what we have here. Okay. Well, this one, it's coming from Abubakar and from Gwarinpa, and it says that politicians need to rephrase and repattern their campaign strategies, such rather than tear down, they need to use words that could build up. Nigeria will remain united if this is made possible. Thank you very much, Abubakar from Gwarinpa. It's a very good one there, and we appreciate your comment as well. Well, we have this one, Usman from Asokoro. He says that until there is a strong punitive measures for comments like this, Nigerians will always be coming back to where we started from. All right, thank you very much. There's a brother from... Okay, let's go back to the lines now quickly. You want to call 08025140627. That's the line you can join us with this morning. It's Brugami, and we're talking with our guest in-house on the implications of use an inflammatory statement, tear-down statement. Hello. Good morning. Yes, your name and where you calling us from? Okay, let's hear from you, though distorted, but let's hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We had problem really getting you there, but of course we did manage. Call the line 08025140627. Hello? Hello? Good morning. Okay, call us back. We're already having some technical issues with our line. Hello? All right, while contending with that line, we quickly took a short break. When we come back, it is going to be on with our guest right here in-house. Okay, let's get this message before we go on that break. We have a message. This one says, my name is Muhammad. I am from Maraba, Kabai, all the way from Nasarawa. Says, youth are not voting. Okay. All right. We'll want to censor some of the languages used there. Please, while you send us messages and call, you want to keep it very civil there. Thank you very much. Anyway, Mohammed from Nasarawa State. It's appreciated. Hello? Hello. Good morning. Okay. Let's quickly take this short break, have our house put in check, and when we come back, it's Brugami all the way down. Don't forget that we have our guest in-house who will still be doing justice to some of the comments and questions that have been put on ground. Stay with us.
Constructive, appealing, engaging, people, issues, and dimension on Brugami. The converging point for Nigerians at breakfast on the Brugami table. Join the wagon and be more.
Vision 92.1.
Brugami.
Where will you identify between right and wrong? Where do the public see the public trust holders? Only on Brugami, 8 to 9 a.m. every weekday on Vision FM 92.1 Abuja. Brugami, searching right through explicit analysis.
The best way to security is involvement of citizens in the security process.
Our graduates are not qualified to be employed. Who is graduating there is the government. Right from 1960, Nigeria has a serious problem. Leaders' problem. Nobody loves this country.
Mind-boggling issues bothering Nigeria and beyond.
Number one, I want to say is that governance, we should cut the expenses of governance. You cannot give reorientation to anybody that is hungry. So what do? A leader is somebody that has passion for who is leading. Nigerian leaders does not have passion for that. They only have passion for themselves and unborn generation.
69.1% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. What do you do with that statistic?
But if you cannot provide for the many, you cannot protect the few. You wipe out corruption. If we don't do that, I have been saying it, forget it. We can't go anywhere.
Brugami, only for Nigerians. Brugami, setting the pace, keeping the pace, making the system work with apt, potent, and daredevil team of producers and presenters. This is Brugami.
It's definitely Brugami this morning, the 8th day of December 2014, and this morning we're talking about the effect of using inflammatory statement to build up to the 2015 general elections. Of course, we've talked about the causes and how that can be put in check. Let's hear from you. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name, please, and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from Gombe.
All right, go ahead, please.
Your topic of discussion.
Okay, you're just joining us.
I'm just trying to understand some of the analysis of this one.
Okay, well, we'll have a... Okay, sorry, you want to call us back while we give you a quick background of what we're talking about. We're talking about the implication of using insightful and inflammatory statement in the build-up of the 2015 election and how aspirants could have these put in check. Of course, our guest in-house have given us a breakdown of how these could affect the polity and how the polity is already heated and getting overheated, and also what INEC should do to put these in check, and how the concerns of Nigeria, especially when it comes to internal party democracy, when there is rancor there, it could transcend to the general one. That has been what we've been talking about, and a whole lot of callers have contributed, though having technical problems now, but we'll still continue with the lines. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name, please? Go ahead, please.
Okay, just a little. Our politicians they need to understand that the staff are talking to the people due to predictions they are teaching for. Yes, if they can be able to speak out, they can actually the people to go for the stick. But today, unfortunately, our politicians use to people that are very, very bad, which causes a lot of problems. Sometimes it's able for people to go to the media. The things like when you go to the north, you put them to go to work, they need to say things that are even relevant to what is happening in the Nigerian politics. These are politicians that we are all working Let the people of our city to say whatsoever if they have mind they need the people to the media. Because they don't know people who are to them. young generation they listen to them because they are getting to them. This politics is conducted.
We would have loved to really hear you on a very clear note, but we're still having problems with that. Okay, well, we want to have our lines taken care of. I want to quickly go back to a guest in-house, and that is, we want to apologize for this problem on ground as we're having really strong technical issues with our line. Okay, sir, before I get back to you, let me try this one now. Hello? Okay. Hello? Good morning. Let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, unfortunately, people that are not looking to this and that are very statements that are probably of the basic problem. They are exactly this that happens to the problem. Whenever somebody says something about this problem, I just going to do the right thing. People in government don't advise on the situation who are listen everybody. How do you politics to try that again? It is not possible. I really want to talk about very good people coming out to support. I think the last who come out to support when government or the president or the teachers. This is always a good something happening in the state. Now, people to happen. Now, I think this is the part of the country. Government is not going to put the big company as the authority. I find those people that will not be back. These are the issues. And we have different properties that country.
Hello, are you there? Are you there? Sorry about that. Do call us back if you can. Now, sir, let's get back to you in the studio, and we're having some technical challenges there, but we believe it's going to be possible. Now, through the media, the print and the broadcast media, Nigerians are clamoring for a free and fair, credible election. Is that possible, sir?
Yes, it's possible. Nothing is really impossible if you put your mind to it. If we really want to achieve a free and fair, credible election in this country, it's possible.
Okay. Now, one of the callers did say that when there is a high and strong punitive measures, it could check this problem. And he even mentioned over if it were to be $1 billion fine and somebody who uses inflammatory statement or insightful or treasonable statement, this could be put in check. Do you agree with that, sir?
I agree to some extent, but I don't think money, fines is enough to curtail these people. Some of these people have billions, if not even trillions at their disposal. So they can afford to continue causing trouble and be paying the billions if that will help them achieve their nefarious aims. What we need to do, like I said earlier, is to think of outrightly banning them. And where their statements have created problems in such a way that people are killed and so on, then we can even look beyond the shores of Nigeria and finding ways to deal with them. They can as well be handled by the International Criminal Court of Justice. We can take them to The Hague. If they think they are strong and they are powerful, they can be jailed over there so long as they have a hand in what has resulted in the loss of lives and properties as we have experienced in the past. Now, there has to be punishments, there has to be punitive measures, because to a very large extent, impunity has been one of the biggest problems facing us in this country. And so long as people feel that they can do and undo and get away with it, then certainly nothing will change. So I strongly agree with the caller that we should think of more stringent punitive measures, maybe longer jail terms or life ban from political activities.
All right, we want to strongly apologize to our contributors this morning. Of course, this is your forum, this is your point where you have to contribute, but we're really having some very big technical issues with our line, and we're up and doing. Our technicians are up and doing to see how that could be corrected. But until then, we'll continue discussing with our guests. But let us try this one. I'm getting a beautiful signal here now. Hello? Good morning. Can you stay away from your radio, please? Hello? The volume on your radio is way too high. Can you turn it down or move away from the place?
I'm not now. I'm not prepared to call.
Okay, let's hear from you. Your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, I'm still below my program.
Go ahead, quickly.
Good morning, again.
Morning.
Yeah. And I would better up the system. When it comes to that, it's not that the case was coming. Making it can make system to come out. They know what they are right now. But especially concerning with security over Afghanistan.
Okay, something definitely wrong there. Thank you very much for calling. It's one of the problems we're contending with this morning. Now, sir, back to you in the studio. The statement by the Senate President, Senator David Mark, holds that politics is not a do-or-die thing. And loyalists, most of the times, often borrow a leaf from comments, from reactions of political office holders or aspirants. How can that be corrected?
Yes, it's for the leaders, aspirants and political office holders, particularly the political office holders, to desist from that. Most of the statements that we are using today in our lexicon of politics in Nigeria were majorly utterances by our leaders. It's a leader in this country that said elections is a do-or-die affair. So when you look at that in perspective, certainly nobody dies when he's alive. So it certainly means that people will be killed if they don't do their bidding. And it's also in this country that the same leader said that they are operating a garrison affair. When you talk of garrison, you're talking of an army formation. They're talking of a war situation. Now, some other leaders here, even though they're denying it, are saying others are cockroaches and they should be killed. And then some others have said that if it doesn't happen their own way, there will be bloodshed. So these are things that are on record, and they are utterances by our leaders. Like I said, part of the problem has to do with our constitution. Truly, that these people have enormous powers, and coupled with that, they are also given immunity. Now, with the kind of power that is in the hands of people holding executive offices in this country, it's only fair and right that they be stripped of immunity so that they use the power in the right way as they should. Now they have so much power, they have so much immunity, they can say anything and incite the people. If you'll allow me, I will want to read directly from the document that all political parties in Nigeria have signed to, and which is supposed to be like the guide to the parties in terms of these issues of incitement and what have you, which is the Code of Conduct for Political Parties in Nigeria. Under the rule of law in Section 5, it says, no political party or candidate shall during campaign resort to the use of inflammatory language, provocative actions, images, or manifestations that incite violence, hatred, contempt, or intimidation against another party or candidate or any person or group of persons on grounds of ethnicity or gender or any other reason. And then accordingly, no political party or candidate shall issue any handbill, pamphlet, leaflet, or other publications that contain such incitement. So you see, the issues have been captured very well. If people now decide to violate this, then I think the best way forward is for them to be punished.
Right, the best way for them is to be punished. Now let me pick a word from one of our callers who say that most of the times when people make inflammatory statements, they lead to long-term negative implication. I heard you highlight that. Can you be more elaborate this time, sir?
You see, because of the level of poverty and because of the economic situation in this country, people tend to look up to a few people in the society and they see them as real mentors to them. They see them as leaders either as a result of one kind of inclination or the other. Now, when people like that make such statements, this statement reverberate. The rippling effect can spread over generations. And that is why I said in my opening statement that the level of hatred among the people now is at its worst peak compared to what we used to have in the past. Nigerians don't seem to want to trust each other. Nigerians are living in fear and all sort of negative permutations about what will be the future of this country and what have you. So under situations like that, people who God has placed in position of leadership should be mindful that they are supposed to, if not for nothing, but for the sake of posterity, do the little best they can to ensure that people live in peace and in harmony. But in situations where they are unable to do that, then we definitely are finding ourselves in the most unfortunate situation that is resulting in the kind of statements we're hearing today and so on. And the implication truly is not something you can quantify. Something can be said today and then people will not react to it until 2 or 3 years down the line. So it's most unfortunate. I think the best way is that our politicians should desist from this. Politicians should be more matured in their approach towards politics. Our leaders should understand that they are leaders for all of us. They are not just leaders for members of their political parties or members of their own part of the country or members of their own tribal or ethnic configuration. Once that is understood, I think we can have a better country.
Right, a politician did say that if care is not taken, Nigerians will find themselves in what is termed a political quagmire. Well, we don't pray for that to happen. Let us try for the last time a caller. Hello. Okay, hello? All right, that will do for our callers this morning. We want to use this forum to apologize to all of our contributors. Well, it's an unavoidable situation we have right here in the studio. Your calls would have come in, but because of this technical issue, it wouldn't have been. Well, we'll say we apologize for that. Tomorrow will be another day where you can contribute positively. Well, back to you in the studio, sir. In your final word, what should Nigerians, INEC, aspirants do to have a free, credible, and peaceful election come 2015?
I think for the politicians, they should be more matured in their approach, and then they should be more objective, and then they should talk more to their manifestos and address the concrete issues facing Nigeria today. For INEC, the expectation is that INEC should be non-partisan. INEC should be transparent, per se, and with the transparency that is expected, and in all respects, we will likely be able to attain that free and fair election status that we are hoping for this country. And for everybody out there, I wish you all well. I wish this country well. I hope that we will have a good outing in 2015 general elections, and that ultimately we'll be happy that the country has finally made it and we've achieved a free, fair, and credible elections at last.
We likewise to appreciate your being here with us this morning. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a very beautiful, inciting, and intriguing discussion with our guest in-house in person of Dr. Mani Ibrahim. He's a public affairs analyst and also the National Organizing Secretary, Africa Democratic Congress, ADC. He has done a very good job, a forensic analysis of the situation and the way forward for us. For all our callers who did call in, we say thank you very much. It's been difficult, but then we do appreciate that. We will not forget a producer of this program in person person of Ifeanyi Ogweke. It's a job well done. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is another day we will be having Burgami on board again, and it continues like this. Don't forget that Vision 92.1, a rundown of our program, continues after this very minute. My name is Dacha Roy. Have a blessed day and be optimistic. The future is bright.
Constructed